close. Joining us now, Congressman Jared Moskowitz of Florida. He previously served as director of Florida's Emergency Management Division. And I would love to get your insight, given that you're dealing in a way with an area that's had similar challenges, in that I think there's going to be a need to be an entirely different way to look at rebuilding infrastructure, keeping up with the rapid changes due to climate change. And how are you looking at this situation that's happening in California, and what's standing out to you?
Well, thanks, Miko. What's standing out, obviously, is the several different fires that are burning in similar areas and the population. And then, of course, you have the high winds in which they couldn't get air assets into the air, which would have allowed them to really start containment. So this fire, for all intents and purposes, in a very populated area, burned really out of control for several days and just burned through towns. You know, that reminds me of the fire we just had a couple of years ago in Hawaii, much smaller, but that fire also just burned through the town because they couldn't get water into the area fast enough. And, you know, there'll have to be several different after action reviews here, which is common after disasters. Both FEMA will do that, as will Cal OES, as will Cal Fire, to figure out from a response standpoint, you know, how they can improve. And quite frankly, what went wrong. Obviously, we've seen reports about the pressure in the fire hydrants. But also, if you compare this to the Camp Fire of 2018, which destroyed 18,000 structures and with $16 billion of damage, we're already halfway there. That was the largest, most expensive fire in California history, and we're already halfway there with 9,000 structures. But I think the damage amount here, because of the area, is going to be, you know, maybe 5-6 times more expensive, which means Congress is going to have to act to help out California, because the money we appropriated for fiscal year 2025 is already paying for disasters that happen in 2024. And FEMA has, you know, dozens of open disasters that money is going to be needed for reimbursement. So Congress is going to have to help sometime next year in California.
Yeah, it kind of feels weird to talk about rebuilding when these fires are still burning. But my question to you is, does that seem feasible, exactly where these homes and properties are, given what this country is facing, what this world is facing in terms of weather changes? I mean, these winds are keeping these fires burning to the point where some are 0% contained right now.
Yeah, I mean, look, there will be mitigation money that comes down from FEMA MIT money, and then there'll be CDBG-DR mitigation money. There'll be billions of dollars that can be used to help mitigate and build back stronger. Florida has done that, totally changed the code after Hurricane Andrew, and has made the code stronger. And so California will have to look at ways to how they're going to build their infrastructure, as there'll be federal dollars available to do that. But Mika, I would say this conversation that some people say, which is, well, you know, we don't want to subsidize where people live. I got bad news for everybody. Disasters are coming everywhere. This idea that, oh, it's just California or it's just Florida. Really? Right. What happened in North Carolina this year? Right? That was an unprecedented disaster. What happened in Superstorm Sandy in New York and New Jersey? That was an unprecedented disaster. So this idea that, you know, unless you just live in the exact middle of the country, you know, that we're not going to have these disasters. I got bad news for those people. Tornado Alley is expanding. And so we're seeing disasters in areas that we haven't seen before, and we're seeing these disasters much larger in scale. We have to figure out also how to improve response. We've spent a lot of time on you know, FEMA being a grant agency and all these state and county response departments. We're going to have to invest into emergency management and response, because response is not only where we save lives, response is also where we keep the dollar amount of damage low. And I can tell you, if you look at a couple of these disasters, our response ability and capability seems to have gotten at a lower threshold than in previous times.
We're going to need to continue this conversation. Congressman Jared Moskowitz of Florida, thank you very much for coming on this morning. We'll see you again soon.
Thanks, Mika.
Take care. Thanks.